The rain fell steadily on the airport terminal, drumming against the tall windows and creating rivers on the pavement outside. Through the glass, James Harrison watched a plane descend through the gray clouds, its landing lights cutting through the evening gloom. The terminal was busy with travelers rushing past, pulling luggage, checking phones, living their lives in fast forward. But James stood still. He had just stepped off a flight from Chicago. Another business trip. Another hotel room. Another conference where he smiled and shook hands and pretended that success filled all the empty spaces inside him. His dark suit was perfectly pressed, his silver watch gleamed under the fluorescent lights, and his leather briefcase held contracts worth millions of dollars. Yet he felt hollow. James walked slowly toward the exit, his polished shoes clicking on the tile floor. Outside, through the rain-streaked windows, he could see the chaos of the pickup area. Cars honked. People ran with jackets over their heads. Life moved quickly out there, everyone rushing toward somewhere, toward someone. James had nowhere to rush to. His apartment was empty. It had been empty for 3 years, ever since his mother passed away. And it would be empty tonight, just like every other night. He was reaching for his phone to call a car when he heard a small voice. "Excuse me, mister." James looked down. A little boy stood before him, no more than 5 years old. He had curly brown hair that was damp from the rain, and he wore a tan jacket that looked too thin for the weather. In his small hand, he clutched a worn teddy bear, its fur matted and one eye missing. The boy's shoes were muddy, and there were tear tracks on his cheeks. Behind the boy, running through the rain-soaked terminal entrance, was a young woman in a light blue uniform. A security officer. Her blonde hair was pulled back in a ponytail, and her face showed concern and exhaustion. "Tommy, honey, please don't run away," she called out as she approached. Then to James, breathlessly, "I'm so sorry, sir. He's been asking everyone for help." James looked at the boy again. Tommy was staring up at him with wide, hopeful eyes that held a depth of sadness James recognized all too well. "It's all right," James found himself saying. He knelt down slowly, bringing himself to the boy's level. His expensive suit would wrinkle. The wet floor would stain his knees. But somehow, none of that seemed to matter. "Hello, Tommy. I'm James." "Hi," Tommy whispered. He hugged his teddy bear tighter. "Are you busy, Mr. James?" The question caught James off guard. He thought about his empty apartment, his silent evening, the takeout dinner he would eat alone while watching the news. "No," he said honestly. "I'm not busy." "Can you help us?" Tommy asked. His voice was so small, so fragile. "Can you help us get home?" The security officer, whose name tag read Sarah, stepped closer. "I'm sorry," she said again. "I found him wandering near the baggage claim. His mother was supposed to pick him up from his grandmother's house, but she never showed. The airline brought him here from Denver, but now we can't reach anyone." James felt something tighten in his chest. He looked at Tommy's tired face, at the way the boy held onto that teddy bear like it was the only solid thing in his world. "Where's your dad, Tommy?" James asked gently. Tommy's lower lip trembled. "My daddy is in heaven," he said quietly. Then, looking up at James with those impossibly sad eyes, he asked again, "Can you help us get home?" "Mama said she'd be here. She promised. But I can't find her." James felt the words hit him like a physical blow. This small boy, standing in a crowded airport, clutching a worn toy, waiting for a mother who hadn't come. Lost and alone, asking strangers for help because there was no one else to ask. Sarah touched Tommy's shoulder gently. "We're trying to reach his mother, but her phone goes straight to voicemail. I've called the local police to do a welfare check at their home address. But until we hear something." She looked at James, and he saw the worry in her eyes. "He's been here for 3 hours. He's hungry and scared, and he keeps asking people to help him get home." James stood up slowly. He looked at the crowds rushing past, at the rain falling outside, at this little boy who was so very alone in a busy world. And he thought about himself, about how he had felt exactly this lost for 3 years. How he still felt lost, even though he knew exactly where his apartment was. "What's your address, Tommy?" James asked. Tommy recited it carefully, the way a child does when they've practiced something important. Sarah checked it against the paperwork she held. "It's about 40 minutes from here," she said. She looked at James uncertainly. "We're trying to follow protocol, but he's not comfortable in the security office, and children's services is backed up tonight. They said it could be several more hours." James looked at Tommy again. The boy was shivering slightly, and his eyes had that glazed quality of someone who had been brave for too long. "I'll take him," James heard himself say. Sarah blinked. "Sir, I can't just release him to a stranger." "Then come with us," James said. "You must be nearly off your shift. Come with us to his house. We can check on his mother together. Make sure everything's all right." Sarah studied James's face. She was clearly weighing procedure against compassion, rules against what felt right. Finally, she nodded slowly. "Okay," she said. "But I'm coming with you, and I'm keeping my radio on." 20 minutes later, they were in James's town car, driving through the rain-slicked streets. Tommy sat between James and Sarah in the back seat, still clutching his teddy bear. The driver, a kind older man named Frank, had instantly understood the situation and driven without questions. "Are you hungry, Buddy?" James asked softly. Tommy nodded. James asked Frank to stop at a diner. Inside the warm, bright restaurant, they sat in a corner booth. James ordered Tommy chicken fingers and hot chocolate. The boy ate slowly, mechanically, his eyes distant. "Tell me about your teddy bear," James said gently. Tommy looked down at the toe. "My daddy gave him to me. Before he got sick. His name is Mr. "That's a good name," James said. He felt his throat tighten. "Your daddy must have loved you very much." "He did," Tommy whispered. "He said Mr. would protect me when he couldn't anymore." Sarah excused herself to make another call. When she returned, her face was pale but relieved. "They found her," she said quietly to James. "She's at the hospital. She was in a car accident this afternoon on her way to pick him up. Minor injuries, but her phone was destroyed. She's been frantic, trying to get word to someone. The hospital is only 10 minutes from their house." Tommy looked up, understanding flickering in his eyes. "Mama's hurt?" "She's okay, sweetheart," Sarah said quickly. "She's okay. And she's been trying so hard to get to you." The hospital was bright and sterile, so different from the warm diner they had just left. Sarah went ahead to find Tommy's mother while James waited with the boy in the lobby. Tommy had gone very quiet, his small hand finding James's larger one. "Mr. James?" Tommy said softly. "Yes. Are you lonely too?" The question was so direct, so unexpected, that James couldn't form a practiced answer. He could only tell the truth. "Yes," he said quietly. "I am. My mama says lonely people need help too," Tommy said.